Hussein, a journalist with Star FM. Please, in the presentation, I didn't hear Mr. Bright mention of the impact of social media on our case in the next 20 years, because now everybody wants to be popular. And looking at the high demand and high chase for social media of late, everybody wants to do things that will make that person, him or her, very popular. So if Mr. Pia can mention or can elaborate more on the impact of this technology as main driving our generation. Thank you.
Right, I don't know if you heard him well. He was speaking about impact of social media. Okay. Any other comment? Any other comment or question? Yes. Professor Jampo would want to make a comment. Please give the microphone to him.
Well, thank you. I haven't seen the report, but listening to what my colleague Professor Safo, just said, and his review, I had several imponderable findings.
nutrition and food security, because there's a direct link between good nutrition and health. Because for the kids to survive in the next 20 years, I think they need to eat well, and it's directly reflected on how the kids don't want to go into agriculture, as 20% are saying they will and 80 are saying they won't. So I think we would have loved to know more of how the kids are thinking about their nutrition, agric, and food security in the country for the next 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have students in our midst too. I would want to have here a question or two from the students. So please come together, the students, and ask one question or at least. Yes, I would want to hear a question or see a question from the students. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Entered by our noble brother Bright Appear under the education, the recommendations. As presented, he said we should give children free will to choose subjects or areas of interest. Now I want to know, or I want to find out, why should science, mathematics, English still be relevant or a major determinant as to whether one can further your education, even if it is food and nutrition, art like drawing, or like fitting and abs. I want to find out why is it so relevant? Because denying most of us, of most of the children to climb up the ladder to the higher heights.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Yes, please. To the middle of the aisle. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I am Nana Mwaseju from Shraj, and I have a question to child rights. I am talking as a mother and someone whose daughter almost didn't go through what she last year because of COVID. You remember last year, because of COVID, there was came up, people were bringing up, like writing entry exams into the university and so on and so forth. And I remember commenting to my husband and saying that, well, if WASI can't come on because of COVID, these children have been in school, they have assessments going on day in, day out, especially those in the final year. Why don't they just use the results? Go from school to school, you know, and then looking at where they want to go to the university, and kind of go through that procedure and enter. And he just laughed and said, he thinks parents will be sitting down and let the schools just use the right assessments for the results for the children. The parents will go and pay the center to change the results of students. I am saying that because we are talking about the child and they saying they won't follow what religion their parents are adhering to right now. So children are imitators. They imitate what they see more than what we say. So we are Christians. Most of us say we are Christians. We go to church, and then when something of this nature comes up, we go and pay. We are talking about corruption. We go and pay, and the children see. They know that our parents are going to intervene in the schools so that our results are changed. For me to enter, as a human rights person, my problem is, as we are talking about children, what kind of orientation, what kind of thinking we have for parents? Because at the end of the day, they are going home. After all is said and done, and what pertains in the houses is what they will copy. So coming back to what do we have, what intervention do we have for parents also? Because as we say, as you are advising the mouse, you are also advising the cat. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. She's speaking on behalf of the cats. So, right, we want to know what you have for the cats as well. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Thank you. My name is Nyakwambo Walker for GBC News. On spiritism, our executive director is saying he is going to the court to seek court intervention. We want to understand why. What are you going to do at the court? Are you going to seek injunction And who are you taking to the court? Of course, we can't take the child to court. Are you taking the parent to court? Or we understand these children, a lot of them come from neighboring countries, Niger and the rest. So is it the embassy you're taking to court? What are you going to do actually there? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Do I have another batch of questions, or we can end it here? Do I have more? Okay, great. So Brad, please come take these comments, and then we take the final batch. Thank you.
The issue of we going to court at the appropriate time, we will address it. It was just part of questions that I have to answer. It's not the main subject for today. So please, reporters, I beg you, take that one out for today. Let's focus on the report, and then at the appropriate time, whoever will sue, you will get to know. Are we okay? All right. So I will give the chance to Auntie Madam Yapepra to also have a statement. So Auntie.
But we trust you. I can help. I don't know if I can hold your hand. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Marriott, please give us a gentle step here next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm known to like talking, but today I promised myself I was going to keep quiet throughout and listen more, especially when I knew I was going to be in the presence of somebody I admire so much, Dr. Letitia Appiah. So after Dr. Letitia Appiah finished speaking, I didn't think there was anything else to say. We are here, my name is Yapepra Abekuji, country lead for Cocoa Life. It's a program that Mondelez International has in Ghana and some other countries. We've been working with Child Rights International for some time now. And I'm very pleased because when we started, we were focusing on international, or if I should say international, child rights is also international, but we're focusing more on Western NGOs because Mondelez is a multinational company. But somehow along the line, Matilda, my colleague, and the team, we said, let's bring what now we say local content. And then we invited child rights to come on board. It was competitive, and we have never looked back because of the work they are doing. In fact, children, we've all been children, and like you said, we might not become adults. Right now we are adults, but we all want to be 80, 90, 100. We might not get there. So this is the time that we need to look at the situation of children in our country. I was privileged to have parents who believed in us. I remember one of my uncles used to say, as if to say a parent doesn't have to play with his or her children. He's taking his children as his siblings. That used to worry me a lot. But as I grew, I saw the difference between us and my cousins because they were afraid to even voice out their feelings, etc. And today, I am not. I respect authority, but I don't see that authority means I cannot speak to authority. I'm always ready to speak my truth. So for trying to ensure that this study is done and to present it to all of us, to give us food for thought, is very important for us. So that it's not like Ya comes here to talk about her experience, or Jennifer talks about her experience, or Letitia talks about her experience, but it is empirical. And I'm glad somebody asked that, is it going to be left on the shelf? That how are we going to make sure that this gets into the domain of implementation, especially? And it's not left to government, it's up to all of us. We have seen we've heard from the report. Some of us have been given the hard copies. Let us read and see where we fit in. Because as for values, yes, government can say that we can teach patriotic songs in schools. Because Child Rights said that was one of the findings. Patriotic songs in schools, wearing African print, it won't take us anywhere if the values are not started from home. But somebody also mentioned the fact that even the fact that she had thought of, how can the children get over this hurdle of COVID and access to university? And the husband laughed about how parents intervene. It's true, I faced the dilemma. I went to Wesley Girls, and when my granddaughter chose Wesley Girls and didn't get it, my first response was to move her, whatever I could do, because I'm very active in the Old Girls Association, to get the girl there. But she got another school. And when she got to the other school, I said to myself, let her go to the school. Because some time back, I wrote an article on meritocracy. So how can I then now be talking about, no, my daughter has to go to Wesley Girls, when she didn't earn the right to go to Wesley Girls? So let us be truthful to ourselves. Let us start the children with the values at home. But let us also question ourselves whether we also have the values ourselves. If you don't have values, you are sitting in the office and doing all sorts of things. And church, you go to church, come back and do the bad things. How do you expect the children to not imitate you? Letitia, can I stop now? As for Bright, he will say I shouldn't stop. Can I stop now? Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. I need to remind Marriott Hotel again that we need steps there, please. Yeah, because not all of us are that active. Let's take a few more comments and then we can close the session. I've seen hands from students. Yes, thank you.
My name is Lasisi Samira from TIM Media International School. Let's say, for instance, I want to become a fashion designer, but my parents are insisting that I should do science. But looking at me, my strength is not in science, and I want to become a fashion designer. So, as Child Rights International, how can we help to sort out this problem?
Thank you so much. Any other question? Okay, you wanted to respond to her. Fantastic. I'll let you respond. There's a question at the back. So career choices, career path. What's the name of your school? Sorry, say that again. Your name and your school. Thank you so much. I can tell you about the article in the Constitution that says the principles, but I'll leave it to the professionals to answer. So he's worried about continuity. Please bring the microphone here. I think it's called Directive Principles of State Policy. But we can talk about that later. Yes, madam. Sorry, we didn't get you. Is the microphone on?
Mine is I think that with the education, we should put more of practical things. When Sometimes students go and write exams and they do well. When it comes to math or science, they don't do well and they enter the tertiary. So we have the practical, and students have the practical knowledge. Even after university or after SHS, they can do something to get themselves jobs and not wait for someone to give them employment. So that's right.
Thank you. Can I take the last two comments or questions? For example, do you want to answer a question or you want to ask? Okay.
To make a recommendation because I was quite said about what they were going to be doing with this report. And so I believe that the outcome of this research must shape public policy drastically. And beyond what the few of us here can do, I think I would propose that you summarize the outcome of this survey into a maximum of 2-pager policy briefs so that people can read. I mean, we don't like reading. And so if you have it in this volume, I mean, people wouldn't read. Summarize the key issues into policy briefs, at least 2 pages. Then identify about 2,000 most influential policymakers in Ghana and circulate these to them. Send some to the media and generate or engineer a discussion purposely with a view to ensuring that these issues are kept or sustained on the front burner of public policy discourse for a long time. And I believe when these are done, we would reorient ourselves towards the issues, and necessarily I believe that we'll be shaping public policy. And so I would urge you to consider these processes. We don't have to just let them rest. I'm sure this is a groundbreaking or groundbreaking research that has been done. We tend to do research on the youth generally, but we don't focus on children. And so it is important that we don't just play with the findings. Let's make sure the findings really work. Shape public policy. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Prof. I am privileged to have the full report, and if you look at the opening pages, you actually have a very colorful page there. I think this is what you're proposing. So everything has been summarized, the key findings, and the highlights look pretty cool. But I'm sure we can find a better way to distribute this and other key findings in a more social media friendly way. Can I get one more comment? Madam Policewoman, I want to bring the microphone to you, but I'm afraid. Do you see your hand up here somewhere? Okay, please bring the microphone to Dr. Letitia to answer the questions that were asked for us, and then we can... Okay, there's a... Boss, please take the microphone to him before Dr. Letitia answers. It's really difficult to hear you. Can you try that microphone, please?
From Central University, and what I have is a comment. I think one thing that has come short of Ghana is progressive thinking. The fact to revisit the very elements of societal upbringing and see that the impact is not being deficient to throw them into people in society. For instance, when Professor Joseph was giving his submissions, he said that they were told earlier in the days that no one could school or the door. I want to believe the intentions were not to say the mental deposit being in the child, but to engineer a sense of hard working. That is why that particular statements were being made. So if they revisit the those statements that were being said to us as kids that has stayed embedded, because one thing that you see as a cycle is the errors that happen in the child. If you inflict abuse on a child, there's a higher percentage that that child becomes a grown adult and also inflicts